Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are back with the ITL. It's week 5 right now. We took a little break because of Summer Showdown, and some of our players were involved in that. So we have week 5 a week later than we usually would have had this, but it's fine. We are basically already in week 6, so I probably will hit you with 2 games this week, or I at least will play 2 games this week for ITL. And this week we are facing our good buddy Gypsy King, the one and only, the guy who everyone knows is by far the best player out there. I call myself the GOAT, obviously, but I would never disrespect Gypsy by saying that I'm the better player or anything. I think we're pretty close when it comes to Mons. Like we are both very solid players in my opinion, and we have both proven it very often because we all both have like this this huge amount of titles, but everyone knows that Gypsy is like when he's on his game, he's basically impossible to beat. So it's definitely a hard matchup for us, but it should be fun nonetheless. And we actually played this game um like just just right now, like we played this game. We started this game an hour ago, roughly, and it took us like 45 minutes. I'm like just recording it like 20 minutes after we ended this battle, and this battle was unfortunately was very hexy, which is always annoying when it's like when you're really looking forward to a match versus a good friend and a great player as well. So that's like kind of kind of annoying. I'm not like spoiling the outcome or anything. I will go over my team real quick and then cover Gypsy's team, but it wasn't the match that I was looking forward to because, like Mons can be super annoying. But Gypsy and I, we are both 4-0 heading into this week. I'm at plus 17, he's plus 16, I think. So we're basically playing for the league, and the winner of this match is probably gonna like he is probably gonna have the best record in the end at the end of the season because I don't see us losing more than 1 or 2 games each, and like getting the head start here with one win over the other is probably gonna be huge. But it doesn't really matter because we're in opposing conferences, so it's fine. Team I'm bringing is pretty solid in my opinion. I don't really like my matchup versus Gypsy's team, but I talked a little with Matty Brolick, shout out to you, about the matchup. Not too much. I had like the core of the team built already, so I'm like, but I like he gave some insight on this because like I wasn't too sure what to bring. I had like 3 or 4 teams built, and I wasn't really confident what to bring exactly. But I'm bringing a Spikes, a Selga, because Gypsy's only hazard removal is Mew as well as the Aerodactyl. And if I can pressure him with Spikes, then this game might be easier to win because after 1 or 2 spikes, Mamoswine can actually put in quite some work. I don't have rocks on this team, which is kind of annoying to wear down the Celesteela, but it's um, definitely possible for me to wear that thing down because it lacks a reliable recovery, which is good. Asagi is Final Gambit and Spikes usually, but also Protect and Water Shuriken. Protect in case I want to lead it and face a potential Aerodactyl lead, and I want to scout for taunt and not without losing my sash potentially. So that's kind of cool. And I have a Water Shuriken to maybe put it in range of an Ice Shot from Mamoswine with 4 hits. I think I need 4 to put it in range, maybe 3, depending on the rolls, but 4 would guarantee me to put it in range, so that's kind of cool. Rotom Heat is the Scarf variant. I really contemplated going Specs because Specs actually 2 KOs his entire team bar Assault Vest users, but I decided to go Scarf with Voltage, Thunderbolt, Overheat, and Thunder. Thunder guarantees me some 3 KOs or 2 KOs that Thunderbolt doesn't, but I don't want to lock myself into it at all. But like just having it on there is probably a smart thing to have. Venusaur is a special defense variant with Sludge Bomb, not Giga Drain, Synthesis, Leech Seed, and Sleep Powder. Special defense to take on stuff like the Nidoqueen, as well as something he didn't bring. I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, it can also take on the Shaman, obviously. Mammothman is a Life Orb variant, Ice Crash, Ice Shot, Earthquake, and Knockoff. I really wanted to bring Rocks over Knockoff in there, but Gypsy has a Slowbro, and without like having that Toxic or something, I can't break it with Adamant with Jolly Earthquake. I'm actually Jolly Max Speed just to like potentially win some win like what's called the like speed control battle at some points because I don't expect Gypsy to creep max speed Jolly when he doesn't have like a base 80 mon on his team and shit like that. He's like probably more inclined to speed creep like a Mammoth when it speed creeps a Nidoqueen or something like that. So I might be able to outspeed for example a defensive Mew, but not guaranteed. Hydreigon here is a Dark Pulse set with the Dreadblade, Roost, Taunt, and Dragon Tail. With Spikes up, can put in a nice amount of work. Not exactly versus this team because I potentially can't really get damage off on Electros and Celesteela with the spikes, but I can still shuffle stuff around, taunt Celesteela or Electros from like doing some shenanigans, for example, go for Toxic, and then I can spam Dark Pulse or Dragon Tail and shuffle stuff around. Tapu Fini is a calm mindset with Hydro Pump and Moonblast, max special attack, enough speed for Nidoqueen, I think. And I have to reflect on the set just in case AV lower than Mark wanted to come in, or just in case I need some more bulk on the physical side, but I probably won't click it versus this team looking at it. So let's alright. I lead off with my Finny to get the Mr. Terrain up and to see like to beat a potential Mega Arrow lead. I'm really like really concerned about the Arrow because it actually fucks my team up. The only thing that switches in on my team is the Alomomola, and Alomomola is like just a trash mon. Gypsy knows how to capitalize on passive mons, and yeah, I didn't feel like bringing it. Looking at Gypsy's team, it's probably like a physically defensive Celesteela for the Mammoth one, a bulky Mew as a backup check to Mammo. Shaman I wasn't sure could be an offensive variant or a bulky variant, both make sense. Nidoqueen was probably gonna be his rock, I don't think brings T-Spikes. Electros I wasn't sure, I didn't see this thing coming, I had no idea what this is gonna be, and arrowed like just an all-out attacker, I felt like maybe with the roost because it's fairly bulky and can roost up on some stuff versus my team. So that's kinda cool. But yeah, he leads off with Steela, and I'm going hard into my Rotom here to like see what he wants to do. He can't go for Toxic or anything, and if he goes for the Leech Seed, I can just Volt Switch or Overheat. But he decides to go into Shaman, scouting for a potential Hydro Pump. Specs Hydro would have done like 40% to a physically defensive Celesteela, maybe even 45. So it makes sense for him to scout for that. He goes into Nidoqueen as I fire off an Overheat, and this reveals to be a specially defensive Nidoqueen that takes on my Rotom fairly well. Gypsy, as good as he is, exactly knew that I was bringing an offensive Rotom because it's so good versus team, and they found a solid check to it. Gets up his rocks here early, which is super annoying because I don't have removal on my team, but I guess I have to play around it. I go for the knockoff here with the Mammoth one, getting rid of any item on the team as I went hard into Nidoqueen on the rocks. Like, rocks were so obvious, I felt like Mammoth was a very safe play there. Get rid of the leftovers on Mew, but this damage actually reveals to be the exact damage a knockoff would do, like a solid mid-roll versus a Mew that has enough speed to outspeed base 80s, but is still defensive, like max HP, timid or jolly, whatever, with enough speed for base 80s and the rest in defense. Like this is the exact damage. So I could stay in here and spam Earthquake, which I think I go for one Earthquake here to condition him into roosting up so that I can have a safer switch into my Hydreigon, for example, as like that works out, but I have to be mindful of the damage Mammoth one takes. So he reveals to be faster than me, which is good to know. I can go into my Acerga and get up a Spike, which really helps me to like whittle down Shaman, Mew, and Nidoqueen. Set up a Spike, go for a Protect not to burn 1 PP of the Stonish from Arrow, so he goes hard into it. This is a smart play. And I will fire off a Water Shuriken on this turn and sack my Acerga. It was a suicide lead basically anyway, so get the 3 hits off, so not like 5, which would be annoying. Like I get to hit this arrow for some damage. Still not in range for a Ice Shot of Mammoth one guaranteed, so I go into my Hydra here, bluffing the Scarf kinda, and just going for the Dragon Tail to see what his initial switching is, and potentially shuffling it around. He goes into Electros, which is kinda surprising because Electros can't take 2 modest Dark Pulses, for example, too well. Even if it's specially defensive, it gets easily whittled down. So pretty surprising, but I Dragon Tail him out into Shaman, which is kinda annoying because Shaman actually can pack the Dazzling Beam, and I go into my Venus to scout for it here. Definitely making the safest play possible, even though I like to play aggressive versus good players that know like what my initial switch would be. But Gypsy is a guy, he doesn't risk anything unless he has to, so that's like kinda why Venusaur is always the safest bet here. I fire off a Sleep Powder, I think, as Electros comes in. So this Electros has something going on. It reveals the leftovers on this turn, and leftovers usually can be something like Sleep Talk or anything, or Rest Talk with Coil. But I felt like if he has like Rest Talk and Coil, which he actually reveals to have here as I fire off a Leech Seed, trying to like catch whatever he wants to switch in. But he reveals the Sleep Talk and the Coil. And if it's a Rest Talk Coil set, which is the only set that makes sense, I just couldn't figure out what kind of attack he would pack, because if he has Wild Charge, for example, Mammoth Swine Hard Vaulted, as well as the Rotom, as well as Venusaur, as well as Hydreigon. If he has Dragon Tail to shuffle me around, I have a Fairy on my team, and like this doesn't make sense either. So like I wasn't sure what it was. It could have been Knockoff, but I felt like Knockoff is too unreliable to break a Venusaur, and I think a +6 Knockoff wouldn't even 2 KO physically defensive Venusaur anyway. So I go for the Leech Seed here, and we'll go into my Hydreigon. If I don't see him having a Dragon Tail, so I can go hard into it, and I can potentially roost up if he gets some stupid damage off. Goes for the Coil here again. Thankfully, doesn't hit me for damage again. I'm getting kind of lucky there, but that's the thing with Sleep Talk. You kind of like have to gamble a bit and hope for the 33%. Go for the Dragon Tail here. So he is still fast asleep. He gets the full Sleep Talk, which is kind of annoying, and he goes into Arrow. He misses Stone Edge. Kind of annoying because Stone Edge would have done like 60%, but I feel like I can always roost up versus stuff like Steeler versus Nidoqueen, potentially even versus the Electros, versus a Mew. I don't see Mew packing Dazzling Gleam for my Hydreigon if it's defensive. So yes, it mattered, but it didn't matter too much, I feel. I still would have been at like 30%, and as you see, I get him into Electros, which would have meant I got a guaranteed roost off. So I taunt this Electros here as it tries to go for rest, knowing that it can take a Dark Pulse easily. I will fire off another Dragon Tail, I think, here. Yeah, and shuffle stuff around. Shaman is getting low. Things are looking clean for me. A solid first 18 turns, and now this thing roosts up as I go for the roost again as well. I thought he would go for the Stone Edge, because if I go for Dark Pulse on his roost, he's too chaotic, and he either has to spam roost or hit me with the Dark Pulse, or choose someone that can take a Dark Pulse and then play the shuffle game again, because as you know, like he can't kill me with anything besides the Shaman. So kind of interesting play on his part there, but it definitely worked out because I went for Roost to kind of stall his Stone Edges. I go for Roost again to kind of condition him into going for Edge, or like not really going for Edge. I kind of want him to think that I'm going to spam Roost to burn Stone Edge PPs, because I can take 6 Stone Edges with the Roost, because he would do like 6 times 10 is like 60% max with all edges after I roost off the damage, unless he crits, obviously. So here on this next turn, I will go for the Dragon Tail, because I thought he would think that I would spam roost. So I'm trying to get in his head kind of. He actually switches out. I'm not sure if I go for the Dragon Tail, get 6% off on the Celesteela, but it's fine. I get Mew in, and I can just fire off a Dark Pulse and get some big damage off. He goes back into Celesteela, and yeah, Dark Pulse does 42%, so this is nice. I think I go for another Dark Pulse here, as I get him down to 41%. I contemplated taunting, but I didn't want to give Arrow or Shaman a free switch in here, because like that would have been annoying. I gotta pressure Gypsy in order to prevent him from roosting up or synthesizing up, but he gets a Toxic off on my Hydreigon, and that is unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. I think I go for the Roost here, predicting his Protect, as Gypsy is known for running Protect on his lefties mons to get like this safer recovery and more recovery back. As I roost up, doesn't really matter, I'm still the same amount of health, but definitely was nice little play there. Go for another Dark Pulse, I think, as Shaman comes in. I know Shaman is probably gonna outspeed me the way he brings it in, and I'm not staying in on this. I contemplated going for Dragon Tail to shuffle it around, because I felt the Synthesis was way too obvious, but I didn't want to let him Synthesis spam and let my Hydreigon go down for nothing. So Rotom comes in here on the Synthesis, and I will fire off a Volt Switch here, thinking he wouldn't risk the 2-hit KO with Nidoqueen after Spike, and I figured he much rather would go into like Mew or Electros here. But he actually decides to go into Nidoqueen, so Gypsy getting all the momentum back, sadly. And yeah, it blocks for Volt Switch here. I contemplated going for Volt Switch again, thinking that his best play is to double, because Nidoqueen doesn't really pressure my Venusaur. switching, and I'm kind of behind in this game. I already lost my Saga, and the rocks are pretty annoying to my team, especially with my Hydreigon being toxic as well. But I still make the safer play and go into my Venusaur, knowing that I can put anything to sleep if I want to. As Gypsy actually pulls the double into his Mew. So had I gone for the Volt Switch into Hydreigon, I probably would have gotten a kill here on this turn. That would have been nice, as I missed the Sleep Powder on the roost. That's super unfortunate, but it's the game we play. That's one of the hacks um, parts of the game that are annoying, but they aren't the end of the world. Like, I want this Mew poisoned anyway, so that Mamoswine can break it potentially, because it can't boost up on Earthquakes plus the poison damage, which is nice. So he taunts me as I try to go for another Sleep Powder, and he missed the Stone Edge earlier. I don't think the Stone Edge mattered too much, but definitely was annoying as fuck. He goes for the Super Fang, as I will roost up on his next turn, as he goes back into his Hydreigon. I'm at 62% on this, after this 63%, and Jolly Aerodactyl does 60% max. So I go for the Dark Pulse here, trying to get the necessary damage off on this Aerodactyl to potentially revenge it with Mamoswine's Ice Shard or Rotom's Volt Switch, for example. So I go for the Dark Pulse, he goes for the Stone Edge, and he crits, which is unfortunate, really unfortunate, but what can you do? I have to go to my Mia Wallace here and go for the Calm Mind. Like, the damage is 50 to 60% on arrow would have been nice, but what can you do? Go for Calm Mind, and now I can take a Seed Flare from an offensive Shaman at +1, and I can like force him to attack me and keep it low. The goal right now for me is to put everything in range for a potential Rotom T-Ball sweep. I can't do that unless Aerodactyl is at like 75%. I can't do that with a Mew at full. I can't do that with Nidoqueen around, but it's still possible for me to win. It's kind of annoying, but it is possible. He gets a Spadafro, I get the special attack drop. Kind of funny here, because like this game is so hexy already. I get another special attack drop, but he still will be able to kill me here, I think. With the next Seed Flare. I think he got a very high roll there, even though I wasn't -1. But maybe he just got like a standard roll. I didn't calc it. I just felt like it was kind of roll in his favor, but I'm not sure. So I go to Rotom here, as I think I go for the overheat, trying to get the kill on the Nidoqueen. Killing Nidoqueen is like it has the most importance right now, because Rotom is my win condition. Shaman is low, so that I can potentially beat this thing, and Nidoqueen will soon be dead, which is good. But he still keeps it alive, makes a very smart play, goes into Mew here. Looks pretty bleak for me, obviously. Get some damage off, and I will have to go into my Venusaur on this next turn, as he will roost up. I think that's his best play. No, I actually went for the Will-O-Wisp and misses. So that's unfortunate. Misses a way to whittle me down. So I will go for the Sludge Bomb here. Not trying to Synthesis up or Leech Seed or anything. I figured Taunt was the safest play. And he has to spam Roost, but I need to get the Sludge Bomb poison on this Mew. Don't get it on 2 turns or 3 turns already, but he gets a Will-O-Wisp hit here. But I have to try to go for the Sludge Bomb poison. And I finally get it, which is nice. I think it's like a Scald Burn, so that doesn't really count as hacks, but obviously it would have been nice for him to potentially potentially have this Mew healthy and not poison. But if I just keep Sludge Bombing here, even though I could have potentially synthesized that, but I'm not trying to predict this shit. And I go for the Sludge Bomb again, and now I think he is he kind of doesn't really get too much health back, and I can potentially stall him out. I think I go for Leech Seed now, brings him to roost up again, and I miss. So that's super unfortunate again, because with the Leech Seed I would have gotten some health back every turn he roosts. So that's kind of unfortunate, but what can you do? I go for the Sludge Bomb here again. I think I see goes into Electros, and I will try to put this thing to sleep with the Sleep Powder here from Venu. Trying to hit this one, and I'm actually able to do that, so he can't go for rest or anything. He's fast asleep. Doesn't go for the sleep talk. That would have been like a super big play, but I go for the Synthesis here, knowing that I can get my Venusaur back to full health, which makes it possible for me to live a hit from Aerodactyl. Gets a coil again on the sleep talk, but this is solid for him. Like, he doesn't lose too much from it, because his coverage move, whatever it is, wouldn't have done too much without a boosted attack set. Go for the Sludge Bomb again, get a lower roll, but I was probably never getting a 2 KO there. Go for this. What is it? I go for this Leech Seed now, I think. Yeah, I want this passive recovery. as he actually goes for the rest, which is annoying. Like he read his sleep terms there fairly well. It's always good if that works out because like you never know with sleep powder how many sleep turns you get. But it works out for him, and here is a +1, and he finally no, he still goes as the call, and he still doesn't get his coverage move, but like that he will go for an attack at some point. So 50 turns in, I go for a slash from, get a crit. Doesn't matter too much because it was a 2-hit KO anyway from the range he was at. Goes for a sleeper and gets the return, and now I'm thinking, that makes sense. Return actually solid move for me because I only have one normal resist, I think, in form of the Metagross, and this Metagross was heavily pressured by the rest of his team. But I get my kill here, so I'm not 6-0 by the king himself, and now Mega Arrow comes in. I can't switch in anything on this because if it packs the Aqua Tail, Mamoswine as well as Rotom would drop here, and I can't keep Venusaur as a sec. I have to go for the Sleep Powder, hoping he would miss an attack if he doesn't have the Wing Attack. Like I have a chance to put him to sleep basically, and he goes for the Aqua Tail, actually misses, and this is absolutely huge. This miss, as I put him to sleep, might have lost in the game here literally, because now I get into bringing my Mamoswine and fire off Icicle Crashes to potentially hit whatever he wants to sack, and if he can't burn sleep turns with Aerodactyl, it's possible for my Rotom to clean up because Shaman is at 30%, will be at 18-19% after spikes, which is in range from Thunderbolt. Celesteela is in Thunderbolt range easily. Once Nidoqueen goes down, I can potentially win with the Rotom. Even like Mew is in range for a Thunder after a spike. I think Thunder can do up to 50% or 52%, but that depends on the set. So Venusaur goes down, but I get super lucky and, and dodge the Aqua Tail and put this thing to sleep. I fire off an Icicle Crash here. Nidoqueen is the second choice. I missed the Icicle Crash, but it doesn't matter. I know I outspeed because I'm jolly max speed. I will fire off another Icicle Crash. Icicle Crash was the safest play here. I can't go for Earthquake with the Celesteela and then Aerodactyl around, as well as a Shaman around. If Shaman comes in, like yes, I can kill him, but I get too much. Like I have too much life up hits potentially that prevent me from killing some stuff. But Mew comes in, I have to spam Earthquake here. I know he has to roost and try to life up Stormy, but damage with the poison and the Earthquake does too much. He's in Ice Shard range now. Ice Shard does 19% minimum, and he was at 18.4, so that's good for me. This thing comes in, I will just spam Icicle Crash here, and things are looking, all of a sudden are looking great for me. Goes for a Protect and tries to get his health back, and maybe if he like dodges an Icicle Crash, he can potentially take a hit from Rotom and win. But yeah, we'll see about that. Same, and this is sack of choice. This thing comes again. I will fire off an Icicle Crash again after. I know he's gonna protect, but what is my play? Like really, I have to go for the Icicle Crash here, and yeah, try to hit it. I do hit it, and I get the flinch. Like this flinch doesn't matter anymore, but it's unfortunate. Obviously, I go for a knockoff on this turn, knowing that he has to go for protect, and I can just like fire off an Icicle Crash on the next turn, and all of a sudden I'm actually winning this game because Rotom now comes in and clicks Thunderbolt twice to kill his Mega Aerodactyl. So my team kinda turned around a 5-0 or 4-0 loss into a 1-0 win because he missed an Aqua Tail on the Mega Venusaur that was at 6%. Super unfortunate, yes, Hex was on both sides, but I'm the first to admit that this game was absolutely bullshit. He should have won this game easily versus me, and he should have been at 5-0 right now. He was like really pissed after this game, not mad at me or anything, but he like obviously like we all have had this feeling at some point like when we had to like where it felt like why do we even play this game anymore. I hope he doesn't like. I hope Gypsy sleeps over it and like gets back and smacks me in finals or something. Was really unfortunate that the battle of two very good players and good friends like ends up this way. Gypsy should have won this match. I did win in the end, but obviously I take it. Like Hex is part of the game. We all been on like on the wrong end of this at some point, but obviously it's annoying for Gypsy because he had me basically dead with his Mega Arrow because I didn't get the necessary damage on it, and yeah, I somehow got lucky and won this game. And it's annoying for him because last games he had in Summer Showdown, he kind of got hexed out. Now he gets hexed out in ITL, and we all know how frustrating it is. Even though like Gypsy wins 90% of his games or so, hex will always be annoying as fuck, and yeah, it's like it will always be part of the game. So it's kind of unfortunate. I hope he like um, doesn't let it get to him too much, but I could understand why he would, because like Mons are a fucking stupid game. But I'm looking very forward to playing him in finals. Hopefully, obviously it's still a long way to go. It's still 8 weeks left in the regular season and crucial playoff games. But I hope I play a Gypsy in finals. I still think this was a super fun game. Obviously, Hex plays a huge role, but in the end, I always enjoy playing great players, even if they basically have me 4-0 or 5-0, 5-0 or whatever. But yeah, it shouldn't have ended this way, but it is whatever. So if you guys enjoyed, leave a like and a comment. Obviously, subscribe. Go check out my boy Gypsy. Is obviously a great poke tuber, a great player, great guy in general. So go check him out and yeah, catch you in the next video. I think. See ya.